This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
All right, my friends, welcome to the Dr. Stem and the Start Spreading the News podcasts. Yes, it has been erratic for me these last few weeks, recording neither show. As you all know, or should know by now, I'm filling in as a principal of an elementary school. I'm also teaching 2 college courses, and I was bringing 2 unbelievable books to fruition, to the final stages before publication. At the same time, serving as the vice president of the Elysian Fields chapter of SABRE, serving on my church's committees as the lay leader, helping out at the New York City Marathon, trying to do 1.5 million other things as well, all at the same time. And of course, part of that includes running the greatest Yankee website there is, Start Spreading the News. We're still putting up, there it is right there. We're still putting up all of our articles, at least 3 every single day, even with me having absolutely no time. A big thanks go to my many writers, and of course, Tim Cable, who has picked up the burden of writing, I think 400 million articles to get us through this difficult time. So, of course, you can always go to Start Spreading the News at Start Spreading the News blog. And of course, this is also the Dr. Sem Yankees show. So, anyway, within the next couple of weeks, I'll be back to my regular appearances, Monday nights at 9 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. It's just been near impossible to maintain all of that schedule and also include the podcasts. But let's make today a great day. And how do you make your day great? It's easy. You look to the good, and I'm going to get to this in a minute because I have something fun to say, but you look to the good that's all around you, and you take it in, and you appreciate it, and you say, you know, life is good. There are a lot of good things that are happening to me. I think this is one of the most wonderful things about the holiday of Thanksgiving. I love that we have a holiday where we stop everything and take the time just to say thank you. We don't get that in a lot of situations, but we get that at least one day per year, that wonderful holiday we call Thanksgiving. And so on Thanksgiving, that's a perfect day to look around, take in all the good, and to thank those people in our lives, whether we're with them that day or not, that are meaningful and important to us, who we love and who we cherish. And to thank them and tell them the most important thing, we love them. So once you bring in the good and accept the good and appreciate the good, of course, the other step is to pay it all forward and to give that kind of love and happiness and joy to everyone else. Remember, when we give love, it comes back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. A reminder that this program is brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia, a fantastic publisher who has published a bunch of my great works, including 365.2, which is a great motivational book. The Least Among Them, which is a great book about baseball. Roy White's autobiography, which I wrote with him, of course, From Compton to the Bronx. And The World's Greatest Novels, Scattering the Ashes. It is absolutely one of the greatest novels you'll ever read. Probably the greatest novel you'll ever read. If you haven't read Scattering the Ashes, your life is probably somewhat incomplete. Get a bunch of copies, as many as all the people that will be coming to your Thanksgiving celebration. Give one out to each. And instead of having discussions around the table about politics and arguing about all sorts of things, give out a copy of Scattering the Ashes to everyone and just start reading. And then you'll have untold conversation, not just for this Thanksgiving, but for every Thanksgiving going forward, because that's all you'll talk about is what a great novel it is and how it is the greatest novel that was ever written. Of course, maybe none of that's true. Maybe you'll say, yeah, it was pretty good. It might not be the greatest thing. Mark Twain, Hemingway, Faulkner, those guys were all pretty good too. But it might be. You never know. All right. All the kidding aside, my dear friends, of course, one of the books I was bringing to fruition is this one. I need to get a better background so it just doesn't cover my face. But The Greatest New York Yankees by uniform number. In between principaling, teaching college, grading college papers and everything, the month of October was pretty much, the rest of it was spent for me doing all the revisions, updating that wonderful book. It's coming out in February. I've been working very closely with Artemisia Publishing and the publisher, the CEO who runs it, Jeff Habinger, who is a fantastic publisher. And this book looks great. Also, big thanks again to Tim Cable, who did a whole nother full round edit of the book to make sure that it is saying everything I wanted to say, and he's caught a bunch of typos, and really just a yeoman's job again from him for really helping me get through these last couple months. It's all been great. And everything's great. It's just I haven't had a whole lot of time. It's now also that I'll bring up the other big news, my Gettysburg book, the first of which, West Point at Gettysburg, Volume 1, A to G. This is the story of all of the, and here's all three of the Gettysburg books, 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 are not written yet, but 1 is the one coming out in early 2026. These books will be the story of every single West Point graduate who fought at the Battle of Gettysburg. I'm getting rave reviews about the Yankee book as well, the Yankee number book, but I'm getting rave reviews about West Point at Gettysburg, Volume 1. These are both books you don't want to miss. And if you've ever written a book or ever tried to write a book, it's labor intensive. It's a lot of hard work. And for both books to be coming to the finish line at the same time that I was doing so many other things, it was, and it's been, quite a haul. Great. I'm not complaining about hard work. I'm just saying I've been bereft, if you will, of any free time. So let's get to the sunshine part. Let's get to the look around, find the good in everything, and pass it forward. Most people who know me, in fact, I would dare venture almost everyone who knows me would say I'm one of the most optimistic, positive people that they've ever seen and they ever knew. It's hard to find me without a smile on my face. And yet, the other day, I wrote an article for Start Spreading the News. And in that article, I wrote that I'm not optimistic about the 2026 Yankees. And one of the people on Start Spreading the News wrote in and called me Sunshine. He said, oh boy, are you Mr. Depression? I think you're probably an optimistic person. I've watched your podcasts. You seem like an upbeat guy. But boy, did you start my day off in misery. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but yeah, we can be optimistic. We can look at the world around us. And of course, all that was said tongue in cheek and just having some fun. I like to have fun. But the bigger point is we can look around and celebrate so many good things in our lives. The fact that we have places to live, that we have families, that we have friends, that the world itself is beautiful, that hopefully we have faith and we believe in something bigger than us, that we have friends, that we have neighbors, that we have communities, that there are people that care about us, that there are people that care about us who don't even know us, who just care about the human condition and want other people to be happy and great. And we should pay that all forward. And that's all true. And I believe that sincerely, and I will always believe that. I wouldn't begin every show by saying that. But that doesn't mean we have to also lie. And I'm sorry. And now I sound like Mr. Pessimism. Now I sound like Mr. Rain Cloud, because the sunshine quote was, like said tongue in cheek, like you are anything but sunshine, Dr. Sem. We also have to be honest. And let's be honest. What have you heard about the Yankees this off season that gives you any real hope that you've heard from the Yankees, not from beat writers, not from people looking for clicks, not for people trying to get you to tune into their show on the MLB network or the Yes Network or their radio program or whatever? What have you heard from a legitimate source like the Yankees themselves that says any more than they've said for the last decade and a half, oh, we're going to go for it? There was a time when the Yankees would say, we are going to go for it, and you would believe them because they backed up their words with actions. There was a time when the Yankees were major players in every major free agent that was out there that could help the team. I remember having a debate with a dear friend of mine, a colleague, one of the greatest people I know, when the Yankees were going after Giambi. And I said, this guy is one of the great hitters in the game right now. And my friend said, but they have Tino. And I said, Tino doesn't compare in any way, shape, or form to what Giambi can be as a hitter. Giambi, Tino was fine, but Giambi was bigger and better and greater, maybe just not defensively. But as a hitter, there was no question. And so the Yankees, knowing they could improve at first base, went out and they got Giambi. Then the steroid stuff all happens and all that. But at the time, absent of the ancillary stuff, Giambi was seen as a huge improvement. And when the Yankees could get A-Rod, they got A-Rod. And when the Yankees could get Mike Mussina, they got Mike Mussina. And when the Yankees could get El Duque, they got El Duque. And when the Yankees could get Roger Clemens, they got Roger Clemens. And when the Yankees could get David Cone, they got David Cone. And when the Yankees could get Hideki Matsui, they got Hideki Matsui. When the Yankees could get Hideki Arabu, they got Hideki Arabu. When the Yankees could get Jose Contreras, they got Jose Contreras. When the Yankees needed a player, they got that player. Nowadays, they don't. A couple of years ago, they got Juan Soto. That was great. And then they couldn't keep him. Granted, maybe he's not worth $700 gazillion. I think he is. Because I don't think the Mets would have paid that money for him if they didn't know. These are smart people. This is what fans miss all the time. This is what they miss completely, always. If the Mets are going to pay a player a certain amount of money, $700 million over 15 years, whatever it is, they already know that they're going to make that money back. Steve Cohen is a billionaire. He's a brilliant, brilliant businessman. He is surrounded by a board of directors, however the Mets have their structure, the people who watch the money, who are brilliant and great at what they do. How do you know that? Because they work for Steve Cohen, who's great at what he does. He has advisors. He has people that work for him. He has business people. As fans, we say, I can't believe they're paying that guy $40 million a year. But on the business side, they're looking at what that player can give, and they're saying, we're not going to lose money on that guy. We're going to make money on that guy. If they didn't think they would make money on the player, they wouldn't pay the player that salary. This is very simple. It goes down to the most basic things. As fans, we do not understand those economics. We don't live in those worlds. We see big numbers and think, holy cow, that's more money than I'll ever make. The Yankees look, though, at the bottom line, and they say there's a cutoff, and we're not going to go above that cutoff. Even though we're an $8 billion plus team, we think we're going to stay underneath some arbitrary number. And so when the Yankees pay $22 million, as they will this year, to Trent Grisham, that's money that they won't spend somewhere else. But the Mets paying Juan Soto, they're saying we're going to make money on him. They know they are. For Yankee fans, they go, wow, I'm glad we're not paying that kind of money. He would tie up too much of the bottom line. Well, he would. Not because they're paying him too much, because they won't pay the other things necessary in order to win. And so with the Yankees paying Trent Grisham $22 million, that's eating up a whole lot of what they have left for what they want to spend. And just tell me where you see the Yankees as being a great team. Aaron Judge is great. We believe Ben Rice is going to be even better. Cam Schlittler looks like he's going to be terrific. Jazz Chisholm was a 30-30 player. Ryan McMahon is a good defensive third baseman. I mean, where else do you see the Yankees even being pretty good to great? Where do you see the Yankees being a championship team? So I can be optimistic. I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful about so much in my life, and I'm very appreciative about so much of my life. And I believe I bring joy to almost every place I go. I bring a smile. I bring a positive attitude. I don't complain to other people. I'm usually quick-witted with something nice to say or something funny to say to lighten the mood. When I'm around children, the children tend to be very happy. When I'm around grown-ups, the grown-ups tend to be very happy. But that doesn't mean we lie and we say, oh, I look at the Yankees and I think they're going to be great this year. I don't. But I don't believe they're going to be big players in the free agent market. If they want to look like they're going to be big, go do big things. Get Bo Bichette. Get JT Realmuto. Make a trade for one of the top pitchers, like Skubal. Do you, as a Yankee fan or a baseball fan, really believe the Yankees are going to make big-time moves? This is what they're talking about. Let's bring back Cody Bellinger. Now, fans don't like to admit when they're wrong. A year ago, 2 years ago, and a year ago, I was saying the Yankees should get Bellinger. I think he'll fit a need. Most of the people, when the Yankees got Bellinger last year, said that's a bad contract. It's a bad contract because he's been erratic. He has not been consistently good, and he's had a bunch of bad years following a great start. And the Yankees gave him 2 years, which means with an option to opt out after one, which means if he has a great year, he'll opt out. That's the best case scenario. But if he has a bad year, he's going to be a Yankee again the next year, and we're going to be stuck with a guy who's not that good. That's what most people said. They didn't like the deal. Now these same people, almost to a person, are saying the Yankees have to bring Bellinger back. I'd give him 5 years. Like, just think about what you're saying. A year ago, you were against it. Now you want to give him 5 years? I like Bellinger. I wouldn't give him 5 years. Not at all. He has been too erratic. I think he fills a need. I like him. He's one of my favorite Yankees. He's fun to root for. He plays great in the outfield. He can play first base. Seems like a quality guy. But I don't think he is a cornerstone piece on a championship team. I think he's a nice piece. He's a plus piece on a championship team. He's not one of the key ingredients, one of the superstars on a championship team. Yet, if the Yankees bring him back, he will have to be that guy. That's not who he is. That's not who he is. So you're going to have Aaron Judge, who should be great. No reason to think Aaron Judge won't be great. And then what? Cody Bellinger? Okay, I hope he's very good. He's not great. Giancarlo Stanton? He's going to miss a third to a half of the season. And when he plays, he's either great for a week or two, and then he's miserable for a couple of weeks. And then he's great for a week or so, and then he's terrible for a couple of weeks. And then, there's all these dumb narratives. Well, he's great in the postseason. No, he was great in the postseason a couple of years ago, and then a couple of years before that. But in between, he's not always great. We say these things as fans like, oh, John Carlos, like it's written in stone, like it's a guarantee. He's always great in the playoffs. Well, he wasn't last year. He doesn't have a magic button you turn on. Oh, now we'll put out playoffs. It's not like he has a Stratomatic card that you use in the regular season, and then you take out the new and improved Stratomatic card for the postseason. No, that's not how it works. He's not a guy. He's going to be 37, I think. He's not a guy you build an offense around. So who else are you building this offense around? Trent Grisham, who just had a career year? The 3 previous years, he didn't even hit 200? What are the odds he's going to do that again? 10%? 3%? How many players have we seen have career years and then never approach a year like that ever again? I mean, there's going to be people who say, well, he's going to be great again. He proved it. I don't believe that. I believe in you really are pretty much what the back of your baseball card says. So where are you getting this great team from? Ben Rice should be better because he hit the ball hard last year and was robbed. Okay. Austin Wells hasn't proven anything. Anthony Volpe hasn't proven anything. Jason Dominguez hasn't proven anything. Ryan McMahon can't hit. He's been around forever now. He has an OPS for his career at about 91, OPS plus. Jazz Chisholm, again, erratic. He'll be great for a little while. Then he'll be terrible for weeks on end. Overall, he has nice numbers, but does this look like a championship team? It doesn't. And then you look at the pitching staff. Garrett Cole is coming back eventually. He's been hurt. He might be great, but he might not. We don't know. When a pitcher is coming off a major injury, you just don't know. Carlos Rodon's coming off surgery. Clark Schmidt's coming off surgery. Will Warren is a nice pitcher. Luis Gil, a year ago, was like, he's so great. This year, like, well, he's serviceable. He's really not. He was the rookie of the year. This is what we did last year. He's the rookie of the year. He's great. You build a team around Luis Gil. I wouldn't trade him for Cy Young, Satchel Paige, and Tom Seaver rolled up into one. This winter, it's like, well, maybe we could trade him for a backup catcher. Like, be consistent from year to year, please. These are your pitchers. And then you have to say, like, well, Cam Schlittler pitched a great game in the playoffs. He's great. And maybe he will be, but there's no guarantee there. Well, we got a good closer in David Bednar, who, by the way, went to the minor leagues last year. I like Bednar. I love the fact that he went to Lafayette College, where I sent 2 of my kids. I think that's awesome. A Laf graduate in the major leagues? That's cool. I hope Bednar wins the Cy Young Award and he's the greatest relief pitcher the Yankees ever had. Sorry, Mariano. But he won't be, of course. So I'm not that sorry, Mariano, because she'll still be the greatest. But I hope he is. But then what's the rest of your bullpen? Well, we have Ryan Yarborough. All right, that's good. Nice. We have a good pitcher, a nice pitcher. Well, we're going to have Tim Hill again. All right, Tim Hill. There we go. And there's a bunch of young arms. Those young arms, you can't discount those young arms. My dear friends, if you're saying that, please take a moment, stop, listen to yourself. The fans say the same things year after year after year because it's fed to them by the Yankees, and they eat it up every year with no sense of reflection. None. Everson Pereira, this guy's going to be great. I mean, he's got a major league hit tool. There's no doubt about that. This guy, unbelievable. Jose Tabata, I'm telling you, the guy's already a hitter. The guy can already hit. Mike Ford, he's going to surprise you, boy, because this guy's got a swing. He's got a major league swing. Robert Einhorn could already play shortstop on a major league level. He'll probably have to take a little while to learn how to hit, but this guy's an elite defender already. I mean, how many guys have we gone through over the years with these talking points that we buy into? Oswald Peraza is a major league shortstop. There's no question about it. The Yankees are so fortunate. They have 2 major league shortstops already. The question is, which one will it be? Peraza or Volpe? Either one is ready to be a star, and neither is. Neither is. In fact, there's a possibility neither will even be in the major leagues in 2 years. And yet the same people that bought that and bought the, what was his name? Mateo and Glaber Torres, when they were both shortstops, they're both great. They're both major league shortstops. They've got hands and arms like you've never seen at shortstop. Neither one of them being an impact shortstop in the major leagues. But we get fed these lines over and over again for decades and decades. Andrew Velasquez, remember a couple of years ago? Oh, this guy comes from the Bronx even. He's going to be great. Tyler Wade, I'm telling you, this guy is a major leaguer. We could go back for decades. And yet the same people who watch these same players fail time and again start saying, George Lombard's going to be great. George Lombard's a major. I mean, I think he might be starting for the Yankees in 2026. The same people that told us that Jose Tabata and, my God, you can't even remember them all. Ricky Leday and Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar and Gary Sanchez and all and they all flamed out quickly, some much more quickly than others, and so many other million names. Cito Culver. Estevan Florial, on and on. This guy, Estevan Florial, this guy's already got major league talent. He could be he's going to star. The Yankees, elite speed, elite hit tool. And they turn out to none of that's true. None of it turns out to be true. And the same people that were saying those same things about those players are now going, well, Spencer Jones, he should be starting. Spencer Jones probably is going to make, right out of spring training, the guy who strikes out more than 30% of the time in the minor leagues. But he's an already elite defender. How many of you know that Spencer Jones is really an elite defender? Tell me you know that. How many games have you watched him? Or are you just basing it on what you hear people saying about Spencer Jones? Well, I hear he's good. I hear he's an elite defender. You've been hearing that about every Yankees major prospect for the last 35 years. And most of them flame out. Most of them don't even make it. Most of them are like Anthony Volpe. They come up, they might get a little chance, and then within a minute or two, the fans are sick and tired of them. They're like, this guy's not good. Why did I buy into him? But instead of saying, I'm not going to believe the Yankee hype anymore, they then say, I know, Spencer Jones. Hope he doesn't, but Spencer Jones flamed out. But now I'm really high on whoever the next kid is. They drafted this guy. This guy, he's the next Mantle. I know that Jason Dominguez was supposed to be the next Mantle, and he wasn't, and it's not fair to say that of anybody. But this next guy, I'm telling you, he's great. This is what the Yankees do. They do it every year. And they have the fans just buying into it year after year after year. Yes, I believe you, Yankees. Yankees say, we're going to go after all the big players. And then they get none of them. And then you go, yeah, but next year you will. Or then fans, there's certain people right on start spreading the news that say, oh, the Yankees will be great at the deadline. They're going to get some big-time players at the deadline. And then they get some nice pieces sometimes. But nothing like everybody hopes. And then the Yankees go, well, in the offseason, they're going to be big players. They're going to go huge. And then they don't. And well, they'll go huge at the trade deadline. And then they don't. Well, they'll go huge in the offseason. And then they don't. Every year, the Yankees leave holes all over the place. Not left-handed hitting this year, not left-handed pitching that year, no leadoff hitter, no left fielder, no shortstop. I mean, on and on. They do this year after year. Along with having an owner that is not willing to make the huge necessary investment. He spends a lot of money, but not well and not smartly. And he refuses to go over certain numbers, even though Brian Cashman then says, we don't have a spending limit. At the same time, Hal Steinbrenner is going, well, I really don't want to spend $300 million. Then Brian Cashman's going, well, we don't have a spending limit, but we're not going to get that guy. We're not going to get that guy. And that guy's too expensive. Okay. And then they have a manager who, let's be honest, doesn't really ever seem to have a real feel for the game. The coaches don't bring out the best in their players. The Yankees play sloppy baseball. They don't run the bases especially well. They don't hit in the clutch especially well. They don't field their positions especially well. And then we're supposed to say, yeah, I'm excited about the 2026 Yankees. To me, the 2026 Yankees are going to look like the 2025 Yankees. It looks like they're going to roll back basically the same team with the hopes that Cam Schlittler, who might be good, and maybe Spencer Jones somehow makes the major league team and is actually good. That's the hope. Austin Wells, he's going to hit. That's what we were told 2 years ago. He already is a major league hitter. The question is, can he catch? But he can hit. He can hit with the best of them. He might be the best hitting catcher. I wouldn't be surprised. People wrote this. People said this. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of 2025, the best hitting catcher in baseball is Austin Wells. That's what they said. Many people. And then they buy into the next guy. Well, yeah, Wells. And then they make excuses. Well, he was hurt. Every year, that becomes, well, he was probably hurt. Yeah, well, he was hurt. Yeah, it would have been good if he wasn't hurt. Well, Volpe would have been great. He was great. Volpe was great for 4 weeks. And then he got hurt. And then he wasn't the same hitter. Or was he the same hitter he was the year before that and the year before that? He never even had great minor league numbers. I said that when they brought him up. He's the next Jeter. I said, yeah, but Jeter hit like $4 billion in the minors. This guy's hit like 275 often, right? Like he wasn't like lighting up the world in the minor leagues on fire. Anyway, so yes, I am optimistic. I am positive. I think almost every part of life is grand and great. I'm also honest. I also look at things logically, and there are very few reasons at this point to believe in the 2026 Yankees. They're not managed well, they're not run well, they're not coached well, and they don't have a great team. Maybe if you had a great manager and great coaches and a GM and an owner that were willing to really go outside of the box and go and do what's necessary, you'd say, yeah, I think they'll make the right moves. Instead, it looks like they're going to bring back the same poorly run team, poorly coached team, poorly managed team, poorly performing team, and say, we're going to try again with the same crew, only many of them are now coming off injuries and are all a year older. And we have to hope that Aaron Judge has like a 250 OPS plus so he can carry the team when he's not hurt. I'm sorry. There's not a lot to be optimistic about. This could be a long, boring winter, and then it's going to be a long, miserable summer, and we're going to be right back here in a year. So I can be optimistic. I can be Mr. Sunshine, except when it comes to the Yankees, where I'm going to be Mr. Honest. I hope the Yankees prove me wrong. I hope Hal Steinbrenner is willing to spend whatever it takes instead of saying, we made a competitive offer to Yamamoto. We didn't make the highest offer, but we made a competitive offer. We made a competitive offer to Juan Soto. We would have had to play an extra year, but that's not a big deal. It was competitive. You know, there was a day when the Yankees didn't say we make the most competitive offer. There was a time when the Yankees said we made the best offer. How'd they get Reggie? Reggie's like, they wooed me, man. They knew they wanted me, and I knew they wanted me, and they did everything they could to get me. That's how I became a Yankee. That's how the Yankees used to operate. Now, well, we make competitive offers. We're willing to spend. And they're also willing to be outspent. And so great players go to other cities. Can't understand why no player wants to come to New York. Well, why? I've said this also for a long time. If you forget your Yankee fandom, if you were a free agent and you knew you were going to make hundreds of millions of dollars, would you want to play for the Yankees? Or would you want to play for the Dodgers? It's not even a question. I don't like the Dodgers, but if it was my job, I would play for the Dodgers. Of course I would. It's a better run organization. It's an organization that is clearly committed to winning. The Yankees aren't. The Yankees are clearly committed to being good. We think that the playoffs are a crapshoot. And if we get hot at just the right moment, we might be able to maybe possibly win the World Series. That's not how the Dodgers operate. The Dodgers operate saying we are going to be the best team, period. Period. We want to be the best, and we're going to do everything we can to be the best. And the playoffs are a crapshoot, and we might lose because that's what happens. But it's not because we didn't put the best team forward. You see the difference? We might lose, but we're playing to win, rather than we might win, but we're playing to lose. Big difference. The Yankees are the team playing to lose. The Dodgers are the team playing to win. And that's why the Dodgers keep winning. And then you hear this kind of stuff. Well, Major League Baseball doesn't have, and people make up these things. They speak with them like they're talking with authority. The way the rules of baseball are, the big money teams can't compete the way they used to. And then the Dodgers win 3 World Series in the 2020s alone and are in first place every year for the last 10 years or something. And they say, well, I guess that's not true. Well, and then they say, yeah, but no team can win. No team can be a dynasty. No team can win back-to-back anymore. The playoffs are much too hard. It'll never happen. Then the Dodgers win back-to-back World Series. And, well, the Yankees could be doing that. They could be. But their fans make excuses for them. The fans say, well, you know, Trent Grisham, he would have even been better if he wasn't playing on an injured hamstring last year. And if Anthony Volpe plays like he did for a couple of weeks, and if Ben Rice's hard hits fall in, and if Austin Wills takes more pitches, and if Jazz Chisholm has another career year, and Ryan McMahon might have a couple more home runs, and there's nothing. I'm sorry. And if Cole comes back the way he used to, and if Rodon pitches like he did in July of 2012 or whatever, like, it's a lot of what ifs. It's a lot of hope, wishing, instead of saying, we're going to put the best team on the field. So I'm not optimistic. Prove me wrong, Yankees. Prove me wrong, Brian Cashman. Go make some ginormous moves. Go get a bunch of big-time players. Hold the other guys accountable. Volpe, well, we'll see how you do when you come back from your injury. Prove it in AAA because we just got Bo Bichette. Maybe you can make it back as a short second baseman or something. Or maybe we'll move Bichette to second or third or whatever. But right now, Volpe, we've got a shortstop. Thank you very much. You haven't impressed us over 3 years. Well, this will be the year. All right, how many years we got to wait? Like, go out and prove it, Brian Cashman. Get me, as a Yankee fan, all of the great players they need. Get JT Realmuto. I wrote that a bunch of weeks ago. Like a good right-handed, solid veteran catcher. Are we going to go with 3 left-handed catchers again? And no leadoff hitter. Show me that Aaron Boone can make in-game decisions that help the team win on a consistent basis. We saw it last year, a couple of games. The pitcher was getting shelled, and Aaron Boone was standing there in the dugout, and he was looking around, and he was looking at his coaches, and he did not know what to do after managing for 8 years. Then they say, well, he comes from a baseball family. He must know a lot about baseball. He might. He must. That doesn't mean he can manage. Just because your grandfather and your father and your brother were major leaguers, that doesn't mean you can manage. I did an article like in 2018 or 2019. I wish I could dig it up, where I showed the history of managers, of baseball players' sons who became managers, and most of them were not good managers, including, I hate to tell you this, Aaron Boone's dad. Well, he comes from a baseball family. All right, his baseball family didn't really win much, and his dad wasn't a very good manager. So he comes from a family that's not really good at baseball, as far as better than any of us, but as far as major leagues, it wasn't like they won a whole bunch of championships, and the dad was a manager who brought his team to the World Series a million times. Be like saying, I don't know, and I think Stump Merrill gets a bad rap, but Stump Merrill's son is going to manage the Yankees. He comes from a Major League Baseball family. That doesn't mean he's going to be a good manager. On and on and on. There's not a lot to be optimistic at this point right now about the 2026 Yankees. I could be proven wrong. It could be a great winter. But have you seen the Yankees looking like they're on fire? Have you heard a lot from the Yankees where they say, we're going to go out and get the great players? You haven't. Why? Because I think they're content running the same team out there again. The same team we've seen for years and years and years now. The same story. I'm probably not going to any games this year because I want to say, why would I go to Yankee Stadium? It's a pain in the neck to get there. It's a pain in the neck to park. It's expensive as all get out. The stadium, hate to tell you this, Yankees, is a miserable place to go to a baseball game. It's miserable. They play the music so loud, you can't even think. You can't talk to the person next to you. And they start it from the moment the game starts, in between every pitch, noises, sounds. It's obnoxious, lights all over the place. It's just, I went to one game last year, and after the first pitch, they put up like, let's get loud on the scoreboard. It's like, that's not baseball. That's not a fun place to go. Why would I go to be annoyed and to be inundated by noise and overly charged sodas and overly charged hot dogs and that aren't even really very good? I used to love to get a hot dog at Yankee Stadium, knowing it wouldn't be very good because I was part of a great experience, but the stadium experience is terrible. The drive there is terrible. The drive home is terrible. Everything costs an arm and a leg. And I don't think the team cares about winning. They don't play, they don't act, they don't talk in ways that championship teams do. So again, prove me wrong, Hal Steinbrenner. Prove me wrong, Brian Cashman. Prove me wrong, Aaron Boone. Prove me wrong, everybody. I think the players are trying. I don't think they're coached well. But it's not this, I'm sorry. The article I wrote the other day on Start Spreading the News, I'm going to rerun it in February. The exact same article. And we'll see how right I was. Because a lot of people are telling me I'm wrong. How dare you be miserable? How dare you be pessimistic? You have to be optimistic right now. You need to be Mr. Sunshine. The Yankees are great. We love them. I love them too. They're not great. And at this point, they're not going to be. That's just the fact. All right, my friends. Wow. See, sometimes it's good I miss some time. I come back with lots to talk about. Go to Artemisia Publishing. Get some of those great books that I wrote. I think you'll love them. And keep an eye out for the other 2 books that are coming in February. The Greatest New York Yankees by uniform number, that's by Artemisia, and then West Point at Gettysburg being published by Sunbury. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Let's stay positive, because we are, but we're also honest about the Yankees. And with the Yankees, if winning a World Series is the goal, and it should be, because that's what professional sports are all about, if winning the World Series is the goal, there's not a whole lot to be positive about, because the Yankees are not running out, at this point, a championship team for 2026. Have yourselves a wonderful, fantastic, and great evening. See you soon.